Not gonna lie, competitive took some big hits this week. Not the best week for competitive, but there was some good news. So I'm gonna go over both the bad and the good here on the Splat Report. All right, some terrible news came out on Monday. Basically, For the Win, or Endgame TV announced that For the Win could not make it to Japan. They'd be unable to go, so the fourth place team, Ghost Gaming, would be taking their place. This, of course, means both the first place and the second place team are not going to Japan. Rather, the third and the fourth, SCDX and Ghost Gaming, are going to be heading over there to represent the West. This is obviously a really big hit for Endgame TV. Their big tournament, when both the first and the second team can't go, it's not a good thing, not a good look. It also led some people to think that maybe the sponsor Shinobiism was a little bit biased towards the sponsored teams. Who knows? Maybe. But the worst part of it all, of course, is that the two teams that won get nothing for it. Especially like For the Win, who went through the entire tournament without dropping a single game. That's absolutely impossible to do. And they managed to get it done. Really, really sad to see that they could not go collect their prize. They deserved it. Hopefully, Endgame will find some way to make it up for them. And this, of course, is really a painful lesson for the competitive community, especially if these prizes are going to be more commonplace. You got to make sure you have everything together. Got to make sure everyone, has the green light to go. Got to make sure you got as much together as you can, reasonably, because it seems like either A, these Japanese team sponsors are, one, really strict, or two, biased against, normal teams. I'm not going to make any judgments on it. I'm just saying, it's not a good thing, but, we have to move on. Best of luck to Ghost Gaming and STDX. Hopefully they pull out a win in the Platinum Cup. All right, so moving on, let's see. This actually was some news that hit me pretty hard because I was really rooting for these guys to go places, but it seems like Team Upgrade has decided that they are done with competitive Splatoon, and now they're all playing Fortnite. It's I laugh, but they were one of my favorite teams. Obviously, a favorite of the BNS tournaments. A lot of people like rooting for them, kind of like an underdog, an up and rising team. You always want to see those type of teams be successful, and now they've abandoned us for Fortnite. This, of course, started all the memes that oh, is Fortnite / Paladins gonna kill competitive Splatoon? Well, to that I say, if crappy versions of a PC game can kill Splatoon, Splatoon never deserved to live in the first place. That's my take on it. So this actually what I think was kind of interesting, and Hexen brought it up, and I haven't thought about it before, but he mentioned that sandbagging is actually a common strategy especially in TC Rainmaker and somewhat in Clam Blitz. And for those unfamiliar with what sandbagging is, it's when you kind of intentionally lose to gain some sort of advantage. In Splatoon itself, what it would be is when you're down, when you're losing the game in terms they've got the objective pushed a little bit farther than you do, you passively gain special advantage, or you passively gain special, which will turn into special advantage. So maybe you let them get a little bit of a push, maybe past that first checkpoint. Then at that point, even if you clear the first checkpoint but don't go quite as far as they do, you are still gaining special passively. So maybe you get special advantage at some point. You push in, you wipe them out, or take a few out. Then you can kind of take their area. As long as you don't get that objective into the lead, you're still beginning special passively, which will hopefully turn into another instance of special advantage for you. And then you can blow out all those specials and then hopefully knock them out afterwards. So that's, as far as I understand it, the gist of what sandbagging would do. He, of course, Exxon, of course, says that it's not really a good thing to encourage in competitive games. Obviously not. You don't want to get rewarded for losing. But as far as he's saying with this is, I think it was more like kind of justify his position that Splat Zones is the most competitive mode, and that Turf War is actually the next competitive mode because it doesn't really have that issue either. But that's kind of his fault. I've never thought about it before, and it's something interesting to think about. Okay, let's finish up with some good news. All right, guys. This one's kind of an interesting. Pandora decided to rebrand themselves as Back Squids, trying to take on, a little bit, trying to, carry on a little bit of that success, a little bit of the fame from their big win over STDX at the World Championship. I think this is a smart move because, you can kind of basically say, hey, like, we're basically the team that was in the World Championship. It worked for STDX, so why can't it work for them? I think it's awesome that, some more teams are looking for sponsorships, doing what they can do, all they can do to try and attract them. Other big announcement, really great, 9-hole Grains is going to Long Island Splat, though I guess it's Gen game, reached its goal to bring 9 over there and help support them. I think that's awesome. And I think, a commentator or commentators are fantastic. They really help raise the quality of the stream itself. And, unlike teams, it's just like one guy and he basically benefits the entire stream, where you're like, as long as you can get him on there commentating, it makes it better. So it's a really good return on investment for LANs, to get some great commentators down there. And it's something that hopefully we'll see, expand more and more. And we'll get to see, more, because we have some really talented commentators. So it's hopefully something we'll see in the future. And the last bit of news, is Dude. SRB2 Dude announced that he had passed 50,000 subscribers. A really big milestone for him. I think he's one of the best examples of a competitive player, basically using social media to its fullest, taking full advantage of what you can do in terms of YouTube and Twitch. And he's actually, making a living playing Splatoon. And that's absolutely fantastic. I hopefully will see, more players, do really making use of those options, and being successful with them. Because I think it's you can't just completely rely on sponsors, or, a part-time job's good too, but like the more time people can dedicate to Splatoon, I think the better off the community gets, especially if they're making quality content. It's not like we're overflowing or flooded with, great content. So fantastic. Very happy for SRB2 Dude. Keep it up, man. Okay, that's it for this. That's it for basically the news. I want to close out by bringing up some internal business. If you noticed, there's been a bit of a gap between 6 and 7. I've been recording as much. Like I've been recording and I'm like, oh, I don't like the way this is, this is going. Trying to figure out, where I want to go with this, with the Splat Report and this channel in general. I really want to try and focus more on the Splat Report. What I've decided is I want to try and upload twice a week, once on Wednesday, once on Saturday. Hopefully get a regular schedule down so I can really make this as good as possible and bring you, up-to-date news. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys will support me by, of course, liking and subscribing to my videos is a great way. Check me out on inktv.media. It means a lot. If you like the videos, please show your support. The other thing I want to do is I want to try and, end this with, maybe some viewer comments or questions. So please leave me some comments below, questions or, statements, that I could comment on in the next video. I think that'd be a great way to interact with you guys. And, I think that's really one of the great things about social media now is that you can interact with your audience so easily. And I think that's sort of like a great way to bring you guys into the conversation. And of course, give me some interesting things to talk about. So that's it for my report. I'll see you guys later.